Well, hello. We're going to talk about a subject that we probably all really want to dig deep into, and that is, why are you here? Can you answer that? No one person can actually 100% say. Now, you might have an idea about that. I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to ask you some really cool questions, because with these questions, you might go into a space and realize exactly why you're here and how some things make sense, because there's different categories of people. Of course, there's no separation of anything, but different categories of people that have come here, because the puzzle isn't a whole picture if your little piece is missing. And no two pieces are alike, but they all fit together beautifully, and they have a purpose. Some areas are sky, some areas are the trees. You get my drift? You want to find out? Let's ask some questions so you can find out why you're here. Welcome to Landria, Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through fears, live an amazing life. I'm back on my natural, vegan, beautiful shampoo, which is actually a bar soap, which I soak in water, and then I pour it into a container that I reuse over and over again. And if you guys want some of these natural products to detox, start living a real clean life, your physical body will change, because you're no longer putting things in and on your body that your liver, kidneys, blood, everything has to constantly be cleaning. See? Yeah, right? The biggest organ. I never use sunscreen. I put no lotions on. If I use anything, it's cocoa butter and coconut oil, organic. There's always going to be chemicals in something, but let's reduce them. And I have a link in my description of all those affiliate links that you can go purchase some things that I use and try, and I know you'll love them. Let's get to why you're here. I wanted to share that because people have commented about my hair, and I said the only time they say that is when I'm using this really good stuff. So we think we need all these fancy things in our lives. We think a lot of things that just aren't, well, they're true for you, but they're not always healthy for us. Now, there's a lot of things you're probably thinking in your life right now that aren't right. And this isn't fair, and how come they have that, and I wish I was that person. And well, right now there's a beautiful 42-year-old woman in the hospital right now that a lot of people may have wished to be, and she has stage 4 cancer, and I'm not sure she's going to come out of that hospital this week. So, do I believe in miracles? Heck yeah. But here's what I want to talk about, because miracles aren't for everybody according to what the ego wants. I have some questions for you, and before we get started, I hope you'll subscribe and share these videos, because people who've never heard some of these messages could be pretty interested in what I have to say today. Now, hopefully you caught me on Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie. I got George to interview me, yay! And we're both from Detroit, and he invited me back to the show. It is July 7th, 2024 episode. Go to Coast to Coast AM and look that up. I actually tell you how to create miracles. I tell you how to manifest things, and why I can manifest things that a lot of people can't. What's happening behind that? All right? And why I came here. When I was born, my mother literally said to me later on, I don't know who you are. I think Christina Ford from the Ford family must have had an illegitimate baby, and they dropped you off on our porch. I'm not kidding. She used to say that my whole life. She says, somebody dropped you off on the porch. You don't belong to our family. I was different. Do you feel that way? There's a whole group of you out there that feel that way. Why? Because we all come here with different missions, and we pick our families and our circumstances because that particular situation allows you to contribute to the world in a specific way. I'll give you an example. Here's first part of some of the questions I'm going to ask you. What was your childhood like? All right. because nothing is random, punishment, bad. And the fact that we think things shouldn't happen or they shouldn't be this way is our denial of the entire reason why we came here to the planet. I don't want that, blah, blah, blah. Well, then you shouldn't have come to planet Earth, for crying out loud. Why? Because when you're outside of your body, you don't experience all that stuff. We don't have struggle or loss or pain or fear. So you came here to experience that, but we have different puzzle pieces, and each one of us experiences something different. No two are alike. So if you had a traumatic childhood, there's a very good chance, well, it's one of a few things, there's endless things, but let's give the basic ones. You were to overcome and triumph over something. If you haven't done that, it's not too late. You should be in a position of forgiveness, or you're in a position to teach others. You're in a position to use the trauma to help others deal with theirs. You took it on purpose. I'm going to go into that screwed up family, and you went in thinking, piece of cake. I'm no problem. What was that I was supposed to be doing? Well, we forgot. Why? Purposely, because we went into unconsciousness so that we could know unconsciousness. The one wants to know unconsciousness. One of my viewers, I thought it was really clever. You said, so creators are also the destroyers. And I said, yes. Yes, we are. It's illusion, because we can't actually, that's the one thing we are not, is, let's just say, we can never have an ending. We always have been, we always will be, we just transform. But we can destroy. And we destroy the illusion of what was created, which then goes into another creation. It transforms. It goes back into its form of nothingness and then transforms into something else. A tree, a bird, an alien. Somebody said, so if we are one source, does that include other planets and ETs? I said, yeah. When I said one source, I mean everything. Everything. What you see, what you don't see, the planets, the aliens, that's illusion. That's all creation. That's illusion. Why? Because if it was the thing, the source, it wouldn't appear as anything but, well, probably I could say light, but I don't even know what that is at some point. Right? It comes in a form that transforms. So it can't be any one thing, because those things are not permanent. So even angels, I know, don't get mad at me, even angels are illusion. They're creations on higher realms, right? They appear as certain things. When you go onto the other side, things appear as certain things. For you, it's part of your illusion. You're actually creating it, right? And those in alignment with it appear. So your parents might show up, your grandparents or whatever, and they show up as your grandparents. You go, oh, they've been over there the whole time. Now they're off. We're one thing. So they're actually off doing endless things, in endless forms. And that energy field still exists. So it'll interact with you. Pretty cool, huh? I'll bet you this makes sense to you, doesn't it? Oh, so we don't die and we're just sitting over there. That's the human thinking about we are separate and there's endings and there's time. No, none of that. So that energy that was created here, when it goes over with that energy field, that frequency, and it's in that field. And so when you go over, that exists. It all exists at once. And then the new form of grandma and grandpa is off somewhere in that other form. And the endless probabilities of that form is out in one space. I know, don't try and wrap your head around it because we can't do it. So, did you come from a challenging background? Are you looking at it the way you could, that could change your life? And that is, it makes sense. I took it on. And I said to my neighbor here, Sharon, lovely girl, she and I have become very good friends. We have so much fun. And I was teasing her. I said, what the heck did you do in your last lifetime? You took on a lot. She says, I know, I keep seeing that. I said, well, there were agreements and roles have been switched here. So there's that going on that you can't possibly know of what was at some point that is transferred here into a different situation that's playing out more learning, more evolution. Are you that? So have you come into a situation where you're thinking, wait a second, you know, all these things seem to align with me and I don't know what they are. These are the continuation, energy fields, karma, whatever you want to call it, of the other fields. They are not punishment for murdering somebody in your last time. It's you being able, it's opportunity. Don't look at it as punishment. It's opportunity. I'm taking the super high level class. I'm going to be a surgeon. Somebody else, yeah, they're going to, you know, garden or whatever, the little more pleasant, not that that isn't difficult, and pleasant kind of thing. I'm going to be the surgeon. I'm going to go into ER and save lives and deal with some trauma. So you have to take more advanced classes to do that, right? It's a lot more studying to do that. And that's all it is. So you go into more advanced classes. Now, myself, I know for a fact, my mother said I didn't belong in the family. We all knew I was different. I call it the knowing. As a child, I used to talk and say things that were so out there it wasn't funny. I had a knowing of what we were. So my veils weren't as heavy. I came here with a little bit more of a, let's just say, of a knowing of this existence and what we are, okay? Which can be very difficult because you see what's going on and it doesn't make sense to you. It's like, what, why? This is so stupid. Why would anybody kill somebody or an animal or what? This is ridiculous. So I want you to just not try to figure it out, but know that your role has to be played out beautifully. And if you are not finding purpose in it, then you aren't taking a good look at what you chose to use to evolve. And that means I am contributing toward this. So when I came here, I chose an amazing family. Loving, caring parents who didn't try and, let's just say, dominate, control, like, you know, tell me what to do or whatever. I wish they had more told me what to do. But it gave me some freedom, never pushed religion. They were a little bit religious, but never really pushed it. Just created an atmosphere for that, you know, that wonderful choice that I could make. So I didn't need trauma in my life. I was coming here as a teacher. So instead of dealing with my own stuff, I came with a pretty clean slate. And I had the time of my life for a really long time until I went, well, I had a little visitation, you probably know, in a dream. I'm off in the Roman, you know, beautiful city with the pools of water and the light and everybody's in robes and all this, you know that place. We've all been there. And when I call him one of my higher beings, had a little talk with me. Why did you come down here to be with us? And he showed me the millions of people wandering aimlessly, and I had this unconditional love, beyond unconditional love. And so I knew I had a mission, and he reminded me. You'll have reminders, all right? So it could be one of those theta state dreams like I had. You're in between, and you're like, ooh, okay, that was real. Or things show up, sort of nudge you to do stuff, maybe having to let go of certain things and you think it's bad, but it's actually taking you to the pathway that you chose in the first place. People like having to give up their homes or jobs or whatever end up in these amazing new opportunities. They're opportunities because remember, the material world is not why you came here, but do enjoy it. You can have abundance. You can have things. It's the attachment to it that causes issues because that's a lower frequency because you're expecting that to make you happy and it cannot. Have you figured that out yet? When you let go, all of a sudden stuff flows. I had a 2-carat diamond ring, piles of money. If you listen to the interview on George Norrie, Coast to Coast AM, I tell about this. I said, stuff just comes to me. And my answer is, why not me? So you still hold that power as this role here on planet Earth to create and change. You have free will. So this is why I said prayer works, but it cannot infringe on free will. So your prayers can affect me. And if I receive it, I can go into that miraculous space. All right. So we all have these roles. Why did you come here? Why did you come here to be with us, right? What is your purpose? Why are you here? Look at every one of your experiences and realize that's exactly the way it was supposed to. Am I rejecting it, struggling, PTSD and all these things? Let it go, let it go, let it go. Use it. It's powerful. And yes, screw you up sometimes, but guess what? Then you can be the leader that triumphs, the change maker. And it's not easy to take that role, but I'll tell you what, if you do, the gates will go open for you. You'll be up in the penthouse going, oh my gosh, it wasn't that difficult to get here. I feel better. I was clean to this hate, this anger, all this stuff. That's your assignment. All right, so mine is to be a teacher. I came with the knowing. I wrote the book. You guys have seen it. Get the book. It's blowing people away. I didn't write it. It was downloaded. All right? I haven't even read the book, by the way. So I did edit it, so I have a pretty good idea what's in there, but I carry that knowledge with me, and so do you. So let go of the veils. My veils are down, pretty much. I'm still a human being. I still, have a glass of wine and drink coffee and all that other good stuff. Swear once in a while. But what I want you to know is that if you embrace the challenges, the fact that you're on a very destructive planet, and that you now have to stop blaming, separating, pointing fingers, taking sides. Somebody said, I gave my premonition about who's going to end up in the White House. It's a premonition. It's not in stone. Somebody said, I'm unsubscribing. Don't shoot the messenger. And by the way, if you are going to play that game, you will live in isolation and separation, and you will not receive the compassion and the assistance from others because you're treating the other, which is yourself, that way. It's going to come back. This is why you're here. All right, you've got to break through these barriers. That is me. That's me, me, me. Not me, the human. Me, the source that operates every experience, every adventure, is me. And it is beautiful, and it's all a puzzle piece, because without that one, there's no full picture. And that's planet Earth. This is a mansion. My father has many mansions, and within it there's floors, frequencies you get to go, and it's endless, by the way. You don't end at the penthouse. You keep going. But here we have a material world, so we have to go in these, these perceived limitations. They're not limitations, they're perceived. All right? So why did you come here? Why did you come here? Take a look and realize, oh, I was gifted this. I can do anything with it. I can go into a state of peace and acceptance that I've never felt before. One of the listeners on Coast to Coast AM said, he's talking about spirituality and religion and stuff, and he said, I just wanted to share one thing. The most powerful thing you can do is let go. And I said, it's actually one of the 9 steps I teach in my Breakthrough Fear class. But you have other things you have to deal with before you can let go. Because if you still hold anger or blame, this shouldn't be this way, ego wants to change everything. The learning is why you came in. You can't learn without the challenges. And that's why some miracles don't happen for people, because you're supposed to play it out. I'm supposed to experience illness. I'm supposed to experience whatever it is. You play it out because you are eternal. And trust me, there's no wheelchair, there's no hospital bed, there's no situation that will not transform into something so beautiful. It is a flash in the pan. What are you going to do with it? Let go, and let God, right? What is God? George Norrie asked me, what's God? I went, It's not a person, it's not something separate, it's all things. It's one thing happening. It's everything happening. And there's no such thing as time. That means all things are source. And I say source because if I use the word God, people picture a man in a robe. And that places you as a separate entity that begs, help me! And you're like, you're it? You're the finger on the body, and it's like, move, move. Oh, wait a minute, I'm doing it. Okay. This isn't an actual official spiritual butt kick, but I'm going to put it up here anyways, because you're all powerful, my friend. So why did you come here? This is why you're here. You have an individual puzzle piece role, and it is beautiful. And without you, We don't have that beautiful picture, and you are beautiful. You are perfect. You are perfect. Everything else is a story. You can change the story. It's exactly the way it should be. It hurts. The pain doesn't go away. Suffering goes away. Pain doesn't. Loss, you could experience it. Sit with it sometimes. Sometimes I think, this is what it feels like to think there's an ending, to miss somebody. Because we don't. Out there, we are everything. We know it. But here we don't feel that. We don't experience the other person until you let go and you realize, I never lost anything. It's impossible. So you can be a human being going into that space of all oneness that understands that, but still gets to experience the human adventure. Play it out. And we're going to change the world. You and I. We're doing it right now just by watching this video and reading my book. It will take you to a different place. You are whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. That's from the Master Key System. I will read more of it in my next video. Digital Explorers, if you heard me talk on George Norrie, people saying, well, Landria, I meditate, I do these things, then I go to a job that's horrible. I said, you don't think you have an option? And I created one. No excuses. You spend all kinds of money and time in university for what? You go to a job, you get stuck and hoping that you retire with any kind of money, doing something you hate. We're creating businesses online. I take you on an adventure and we create passion, purpose, positive impact, and prosperity, profitability in a business that contributes to the planet, your health. You can change the world, do business a different way. So if you're entrepreneurial at all, if you've dreamt of doing something like that, I've got 10 years online with my own brands. Come on over. I'm teaching you, personally teach you, okay? You guys get this free, Breakthrough Fear. If you need to work through these issues, come over. I have a free master class. And of course, I've got all kinds of courses for you. Reach out, get the help. You have to take the action. Quit complaining, judgment. Shut your pie hole. I'll see you in the next video. Namaste.